Welcome back to the European LCS, where H2K and G2 Esports are about to go head-to-head in a fight for the top of the tables, as we see the UOL meeting some fans, shaking some hands. And, well, in this one, H2K versus G2, top of the table clash, and we got to look at those two junglers. They've been doing phenomenally, I think, in a lot of people's opinion. So let's start with Jankos, maybe. He's been feeling good, let me put it that way, this year. He's been very vocal about everything, and he's been playing really well. How do you think he's been doing amazing?
I think he's been doing really great. He basically understands the game on a really high level, which is something that some junglers may not. So he's basically like differentiating himself already through that. But his mechanical ability is just really good. So even if he wants to execute weird ganks, he's going to pull them off because he's really mechanically adept and is going to be able to pressure lanes early through that. And that just adds to his game knowledge too. So he's just an all-around player, and he has been doing really well this season.
Yeah, definitely. Jankos is a very aggressive player and really knows like when he can abuse his matchup. Like when his lanes are pushed in, he's not afraid to go in for the counter jungle when he knows he can beat the enemy jungler one-on-one. And his trash talk game very strong as well.
His trash talk game is very strong as well. Finally, maybe I hear that the players are ready, but Shook, I'd love to get your opinion on Trick on the other side, who has been doing very well for G2.
Yeah, I think Trick is one of the best junglers in Europe right now. Like he works really well when it comes to vision, like be there at the right time. He really works well with his team. Like they all click well together in Gamers 2, I think, and Trick is a really great addition to the team.
Okay, quick prediction maybe? H2K or G2?
I still think H2K is slightly stronger of the two teams, but anything could happen.
Oh man, commit to something. Amazing.
I think H2K because I think that Odoamne is adding more to the team than Kikis does. So H2K overall is just a more versatile team. They're going to be able to pull more styles off than G2 would be able to.
I think this one might go to Gamers 2 just based on the matchup in mid lane, Perkz against Selfie. I think Perkz can really abuse Selfie, I think.
Gamers 2 isn't playing, it's G2 Esports in any case. Well, I knew what you meant. Okay. It's time to send things over to the guys at the caster desk for picks and bans. But first, we'll hear how G2's Kikis found himself leaving the jungle for the top lane.
After our relegation matches, we kinda knew we're gonna change two players, so I was looking for either top laners or junglers because I didn't mind switching to top lane. So if we could find a good top laner, I could say jungle, but if we didn't find a good top laner, I could move top lane and take a jungler, and Trick was a very good opportunity to take.
It's great to hear Kikis speaking so confidently about the different roles he can play. Before we load onto the Rift to see him do battle, let's take a look at the rosters really quickly. On the blue side, it is H2K sporting their home colors. Odoamne in the top lane, Jankos in the jungle, Selfie in the mid lane, Forgiven, AD carry, Vander the support, and the coach, Prolly.
Yep, that's the blue side. On the red side, we have obviously G2 Esports. Top lane Kikis, jungle Trick, mid lane Perkz, AD carry Emperor, Hybrid on support, and coach Youngbuck with, honestly, really good drafting. And then failure.
Yeah.
It's like good, 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 ooh dear, and then good, 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 and another failure. So, well, debatable whether that was a failure though. Last game.
Well, Krepo, I want to ask you a question because I'm kind of sad of hearing Cyanide cop out of every prediction Shox asks. He always, oh, the beautiful game of League, anything can happen. Who do you think is going to win this one on paper? H2K or G2?
I just want H2K to win because as I loaded into the lobby, Perkz says like, hey Deficio, and I'm like, yeah, it's actually Krepo. And it's like, yeah, never mind, bye. So I'm on the train of H2K.
Oh, I like that. Let's see if we're going to hear the chant again. Let's jump straight into it because these guys came into the plan. Very quick bans. Kalista Graves taken away by H2K towards G2. Fiora Tahm Kench from G2 the other direction.
Yeah,
I think his Kikis looked very good on top.
Yeah, I like the Tahm Kench ban because Vander used it very well, just keeping Forgiven alive. It's one of those enable Forgiven champions. If you combine the fact that they roam, get vision out, and then in teamfights you can devour Forgiven to put him out of harm's way. Somewhere he likes to be very much so on the edge of. I think it's a decent ban there.
With Graves, Lucian and Kalista out the table. Is Corki the last option? Do you let Poppy through?
I mean,
Alistair?
I don't think Poppy matters as much here, I feel. But yeah, Alistair ban forcing maybe Corki first pick for H2K. They do like their gangplank too on Odoamne to keep the tempo. Yeah, just wave clearing. Braum's available though. So at least it's not Braum Graves as usual. And Trick is actually, this is interesting, if they actually go for the Elise. And they don't go for Nidalee.
So, going to change at the last second. Let's touch on that Braum really quickly because it's been banned against Hybrid multiple times in the past. 6 games played. This will be his 7th, 5-1, and he's accrued 60
I mean,
assists.
they had to pick the Gangplank here because Perkz would not survive another like tweet burn session from pretty much the entire internet because he was very vocal about watching the NALCS, and in his critiques he said things along the lines of GP open on purple side, hashtag just NA things, etc, etc. Then he lost to GP on purple side. So this time he's the purple side and gets the GP, he has to pick it.
Well, if there's any player that I'm excited to watch play Gangplank, I think Perkz is going to be one of them. He's really impressed on every single champion he's played so far this split. And we need to see what he can do at it. We're assuming that's not going to go into Kikis' hands. Doesn't feel like something that Kikis can play yet, though it is a possibility, just saying.
Yeah, but if Kikis stays alive, he can just ultimate the other lanes to just keep the game somewhat even. It could be a Kikis champion. I mean, we have purple side counterpick. Gangplank is just flex, and you have to still at least run the possibility of flexing it. We see Poppy picked up on Odoamne. I like it. I like seeing Odoamne some like slightly more aggressive champions so he can leave his mark. Jankos picked up Lee Sin, so he's just going for an aggression option here. No, Nidalee pick up early, even though she's been doing fantastically with a lot of these teams.
And of course that Poppy still that flex opportunity for H2K, not committing to where it's going to go. Both Vanda and Odoamne have played it in the past. What does Emperor run at ADC? Will it be Ezreal? We're seeing him a little more frequently than Caitlyn, maybe, that's fair to say. Especially when you consider Lucian, Kalista, Corki, they're gone. And those seem to be the top tier ADCs.
I mean, they're hovering so many champions here. They have to pick jungle, right? Yeah, it would make no sense to not pick jungle on this rotation and then have jungle counterpick when jungle's revealed on first or second rotation blue side. So they're going for Nidalee Ezreal. Composition where you group up and poke. Usually you play this with either a 4-1 or something like a TP flank. They play this with Malphite 2 for hard engage. Let's see where this Gangplank go. I'm beginning to feel that it will go mid though. I don't think Kikis can survive in top lane. I think he will get exposed by just Jankos maybe actually going for all the Wamnik camp right now and then just get dove over and over.
Well, statistically speaking, we talked about jungle gravity yesterday. I want to talk about it more in-game, but Jankos traditionally has spent more time around Vanda, working together, sometimes in the enemy jungle, trying to shut down their opponent. I think that'll be very important because both Jankos and Trick have got such opposite styles in many ways. Well, H2K, a few seconds left. If this Quinn gets locked in, we'll suspect that in Odoamne's hands. And Corki mid for Selfie, which he's played a few times as well.
Yeah, Selfie's done very well in Corki mid. It is just gets a really high CS total. Does allow his enemy mid laner to CS decently too, but he does some trading, and if Jankos doesn't dive between the towers and gives a kill over, Selfie should be able to wreak a lot of havoc in the mid lane. We have the ability to get a counter pick. And G2 again, this is risky. G2 generally picks winning lanes, pressure matchups to allow Trick to counter invade, and kind of set vision in, and then they can group and start sieging stuff and taking people down with pressure. Right now they're playing a Malphite top lane, which has limited pressure early, or even later in the game. They're playing GP mid, who should lose against Corki for sure in terms of push, and then they play Ezreal Braum against Caitlyn Poppy, which also should lose in terms of push. So there's a scenario here, especially with the Quinn top, where G2 get pushed in on every lane. Trick suddenly can't counter jungle anymore. Jankos gets the edge. Unless the first duel goes to Trick, this could be actually a very, very snowbally matchup.
Well, we'll see. That's definitely what H2K want. And with all the ADCs, H2K could fall back to that PvE fight towers gameplay.
Yeah, because their team fight is mediocre at best. I mean, they have Poppy Ultimate is the only semblance of hard CC that they have instead of Kick Flash.
Hey,
So-
they have traps, man. I believe.
No, they don't. That's the problem. Trevor, they don't. Because Forgiven doesn't believe in the traps. Skills 2 points in E.
Well, let's see how early Forgiven is going to pick up those traps. Hashtag H2K win if you think they can use this triple ADC composition to the best of their ability, or will hashtag G2 win. It's another flavor for G2 because traditionally they've had those strong lanes and Trick has been able to counter jungle, but this is also a team that has demonstrated they can play different styles. Well, we'll find out. The crowd is definitely hyped. The man behind that sign definitely can't see. G2 versus H2K. Let's see who it's gonna be.
That's why we are here. When you can't see, we will narrate the game. If only we sounded like Morgan Freeman, though. It'd be a lot better. But yeah, different styles, but one thing is certain. Hybrid will play Braum if he can, and he will play Peel, and he's playing Braum into triple 80 carry, so he can jump in front of a lot of bullets this game. And
Oh, not worth. That's
Okay.
cheeky. That's real cheeky.
I mean, yeah, it's at one point the game just transcends the league. You know, when everybody masters the game, it becomes mental warfare. We saw Nukta go for a little bit of trash talk earlier today. Perkz wiggling the gun.
Well, luckily, Nukta could go back in time and change it if it didn't work out. Didn't need to. Perkz is going to obviously get those charges back on the
Do we get a
crafting.
timeout, swap in a different play-by-play, please?
We'll be resetting. So this time around, Crepo, we have deep wards down, unlike the previous game we casted.
I'm in level 1. Let's see how long this lasts. Okay. We see G2 trying to figure out what's going on. They lost the pressure because somebody got poked in the mid lane. Actually, wouldn't have mattered. He's a melee matchup. But yeah, let's see how this ends up. No lane swaps.
Oh,
Cross.
shenanigans. Don't do it. Don't do it. They're going to go for the Gromp. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hybrid and Emperor, they've been jumped on. Forgiven's already got the
Yeah, but they have
Peacemaker
to
down.
they gotta lose the race to the minions though.
You can't die. So now G2, who's actually going to win this one? Hybrid's taking a big chunk. Emperor's deciding to stick around.
I mean, just go push. Just go bot and push. I guess they're so afraid of the level 2 Lee Sin gank that they can't actually go and push the lane. Hesitation here on G2. They're not used to this Shees, because usually when that happens, you still have to realize that HTK's bot lane has to walk all the way around. And let's see Forgiven. Is he going to go for push or just walk up and trade here? Whittle them down. He's a really fun Caitlyn player to watch though, but it won't lead to kills though.
We'll find out how that matchup plays out. Top, we know how this is going to play. Kikis is going to get bullied all day long. Trick doing his thing of counter jungling and using the very quick clear on Nidalee. But he's going to have to help somebody. At the moment, it looks like Kikis is going to get pushed in real hard. And you have to feel Braum Ezreal is going to be safer than a Malphite, at least in the early stages of the game.
And this doesn't count for jungle magnetism because we only start counting at 3 minutes, but Jankos only spent like a full minute next to Vander. He's enabling Forgiven. Surprise, surprise, Kikis is playing a tank. It's almost as if these trends play out in the game sometimes.
The stylistic differences between teams. I've got some stats for you that I want to talk about, Crepo, because Trick actually has the third most time spent alone of any jungler, right? But the one thing I want to highlight is of that time, he's got the second highest spent in the enemy jungle. And we're seeing that consistently over and over and over. He likes to get those winning lanes and then stay in the jungle. But he can't do that this game because of the team comp that G2 have picked.
I mean, he can, but he just has to be very careful where he does it, so because he runs the risk of being collapsed here. So the level 1 start actually gave Trick a free counter jungling. They kind of divided the map into left side, right side. And G2 kind of protecting Kikis even though a little bit too with the Nidalee on the left side, leaving Odoamne alone. That is something H2K like doing. They really don't help him out very much. And then when he plays champions like Gangplank, he's not even allowed to use his ultimate on his own wave. Or own lane rather, he has to put the global. Jankos knows that Spirit was here a while ago because the Wolf Sprite is about to fade. So now he has a good idea of where Trick can be.
Let's see where he uses that information. I like the fact that Odoamne picks a champion that can do very well by himself. You can see him pushing those side lanes, and Kikis opted into this Malphite matchup.
Look at the level difference though. This is Spirit level 4, Trick level 4, Jankos level 3, going for the dive here. Trick obviously now covering Kikis because he knows the dive is set up, and for playing with 3 waves that are pressured in, Trick is doing a decent job at keeping the enemy jungler at bay because he had that early farm advantage. The price paid for that was obviously the loss in bot lane, but if you look at the CS, Emperor and Hybrid are actually even. And they still have some potions left. So far, G2 is doing a phenomenal job early though. See a bit of a duel here, but Jankos is tanking the creep. Trick steals it. This is big. Let's watch experience real quick. Trick is on 4.6 or 4.7. Jankos is on 3.8, so a full level ahead on Trick already.
Well, let's see how it impacts, because of course Trick, a lot of farming, a lot of jungling. Contrast, Jankos actually spends the least amount of time alone. So meaning that he spends a lot of time either with Vander in the enemy jungle, pushing for lanes. You can already see how much time Jankos has spent applying pressure on H2K, on G2's champions, whereas Trick was trying to get pressure in the jungle.
I wonder if we will see a duel at enemy Raptors now from Trick. What his pathing will be. Is he going to go Wolves, just scuttle Wolves into enemy Raptors? Because he could meet there. quick. Very interesting to just keep following these junglers on the minimap. Jankos is low. We'll see. Doesn't have the best sustain clear. And in the mid lane, matchup even with a slight, again, pressure edge on Selfie, as expected.
Yeah, Flash Exhaust for Selfie versus the Flash Teleport from Perkz. Both Perkz and Kikis have used their TP to get back in lane, try to band-aid that weaker laning phase. And here's the Raptor. No fight though.
No fight, because Jankos isn't even here. Jankos did 2 camps in that time. Trick took 2 camps, Scuttlecrab, and is in the process of finishing the enemy Raptors. This is his preferred playstyle, and this is why Nidalee has seen an incredible surge in pick rates, because she's no longer being used as a questionable gank level 3. She gets a farm advantage, then goes in.
Trick is pounced twice, Sonic Wave lands, so does the Javelin. There's a flash over from Selfie. Counter Barrage comes down, Trick gets the autos, will not find the kill. First blood to Selfie.
That was so close. Gangplank obviously can't make it there sooner than Selfie's Corki, but the Gangplank ultimate almost takes him down. That was 1 bullet difference. Then the level up from Jankos gives him enough HP to survive the burn from the red buff damage. Incredibly important duel for this matchup.
Now all of that work that Trick put in
He's now gone.
I'm done.
And that's because he's, I mean, just walk away. When your Gangplank is pushed in, just concede. Concede, don't feed. Good ward dash though. He dodged the damage from the Nidalee pounce with a ward dash. That's actually impressive. Good predict here on the juke too. This is just a very impressive duel because Trick, he calculated everything except the exhaust from Selfie. That's the one parameter that he didn't have in his mind, because if he didn't get the exhaust there, we just killed him. He's going top now.
Kikis has already used Unstoppable Force. Odoamne is going to try run away. Flash has been burned. Trick dashes the pounce! Oh! Wow! Odoamne bounces backwards, but Trick will get out alive. The timing.
And we're seeing some duels here that we really want to slow down and look at the intricate mechanics. Just like the ward dash out of the damage from the pounds, then the dodge downwards predicted by the melee range spear, and topwards like the vault there from Quinn. Just honestly very well played combinations.
It's beautiful watching the timing on those plays. Fan favorite, H2K. They are sitting on top of the table after G2 lost that game yesterday. But only by a small amount, and down bottom, but Forgiven and Vander slightly ahead of their opponents.
500 gold down is something that G2 should be very happy with the composition that they've drafted. The problem that we have is obviously the chip damage on these towers. Mid lane's on 60%. We see a bit of a duel here, Selfie invading.
He's confident with the fight, got that sheen. Pounce forward from Trick as a teleport being channeled up top. Perkz has been kicked backwards and pinned against the wall. Very good timing from Vander. Odoamne's TP successful for a second kill.
And Kikis teleport is on cooldown. This is really good cooldown awareness and just forcing the play from H2K. Completely surprising G2 there, and that's because they have the pressure in all the lanes. They have the liberty to go for these plays, and G2 make the mistake of falling for it. That's the second risk. Either your towers get chipped and you go down, or you just lose control and people collapse quicker than you can react, because you're always behind the curve in terms of play.
So zero hesitation from H2K. Allows them to build up a healthy lead.
Again, a spear predict here from Trick on Jankos. Let's see what he does. Selfie comes in, aggressive. Perkz comes in, then he gets Perkz and he goes for the ward dash into kick, and look into the combo from Vander, who then flashes in. That's honestly fantastic synergy here from H2K. Odoamne finishes up, and Kikis can do nothing but watch. They have teleport advantage now. They can even out about like 1,000 gold with a solid play here and swing the tower too by just using a group play, getting maybe a kill on Forgiven, killing the tower here. Forgiven's a player that, at least in solo and dynamic queue, tends to overextend for farm and just can't get caught out.
Well,
See if he does it here.
We'll find out. For the time being, he's happy farming away BF on pickaxe. We saw Perkz flashing away from Selfie. That matchup, difficult for Perkz already, but you expect that. And now I want to see how H2K punish no flash, knowing that Perkz is a relatively easy target.
Odoamne in the top lane though, pinged out. We have Gangplank ulti available, we have Trick with red buff, and we have Malphite with ulti, no flash on Odoamne. This has to be a kill.
Heightened senses. Odoamne sees it coming, but cannot change his fate. And Kikis Unstoppable forces him in the face.
You could even ask the question, was that Gangplank ulti needed? Because that was almost too easy. Because you can't vault out of the Malphite ulti unless you have a creep to bounce off.
Either way, assist for Perkz. Fantasy points for Shox, who is already beating me. And G2 get their second kill of the game. Now they did invest in Unstoppable Force, so
More
time window,
importantly,
TP Flash or
they
TP
invested the Gangplank ultimate, and they can now not use it when Perkz is in base to hold the mid wave, who gets chipped again in the bot lane. Forgiven gets more items. These combos get stronger, and suddenly Emperor can't sustain out of it just with the Thorns.
Got Sheen in the tier, so he's definitely in that power trough, as we like to talk about whenever those tiers are stacking. And for G2, they want to play for it. They need GP to get 2-3 items. They need Emperor to get 2-3 items.
Or they need to make every Malphite and Gangplank ulti stick. So you lose a tower, but you gain a combination. Combination kill, kind of. Or a combination play somewhere. So far they've had one, but they've lost half their towers, and they need to make sure that the gold swing is at least something they can overcome.
Salvageable.
Half wave down here. Trick helping out, that's good, but look at Selfie, he's going to take his tower.
Yeah, no real opposition. Perkz tried to chain those powder kick barrels together, but truthfully, popped them a little too early.
Vision there in the river. Triple pink ward at the entrances plus side lane brush. Backed up or pushed forward another line of wards. That means Selfie can always path through there. Potentially spot somebody. Trick is spotted in the top lane. There's nothing stopping Selfie from pushing in mid, roaming down the bottom. Jankos could technically be there too. There could, in essence, could be a dive bot. The only thing stopping them that would be teleport from Kikis, but if they wait for Odoamne, they can force like a 4v3 easily with play patterns like that. Right now they're focused on holding top lane though.
You can see the support. Jankos as well as Selfie moving towards the top lane. They will find Trick. Tower still under pressure. We keep getting glimpses of Forgiven. He's crawling ahead of his opponent. 117 CS to 98 of Emperor in a matchup you were expecting. And that goal difference is climbing, Crapo. It's 2,000 at 12 minutes.
And it's about to swing. The second this tower goes down in the bottom lane and G2 can't force a cross-map play, that's when the swing starts going. G2 definitely looking to play around topside, which is rare for them. Don't usually do it. Double pink ward backing up Kikis here, so they want to make it so that Odoamne is scared to put side lane pressure. It has to at least have the risk of face taking every rush into cannon barrage, potentially jungle interaction.
G2 are going to need to find some interaction to claw this goal back. Emperor, 2 shots just to push the wave.
I think this is where they lose their tower. As ulti down out of mana. Look at Jankos, he's ready to move up, probably into the enemy jungle. All he has to do is spot Trick and make so that H2K can't get engaged or teleported upon, but since Hybrid actually depleted his Sidestone a while ago and is running Red Trinket, there's no cheeky trinkets either. H2K will just simply siege down this tower.
I'd like to see how H2K play with their trinkets. Still sitting on 4 yellows. Kikis has already switched over to the blue, and there's a blue buff attempt. Trick's waiting in the wings. Javelin toss and Mystic shot. Let's see who gets it. Stolen! Javelin toss from Trick.
Alright.
Oh.
G2 is ready to defend the tower. Everybody's coming down the bottom lane here, so H2K not willing to just force that play. They spent too much time on the blue buff. Lost the opportunity to brute force bot.
Look at all the damage that tower's taken from one dive. You know, they got the kill, yes, of course, but Kikis is shoving that wave out. He's actually built up a CS advantage over Odoamne, thanks to the fact that Trick has helped him. And when you consider in the first 2-3 minutes, it looked like Kikis is going to have a really bad time.
Yeah, they managed to defend the really crucial moment in any rough matchup kind of breaks at level 4 if you're pushed on a tower. Remember the times of Renekton top with Ignite. He would push you, push you, push you. Level 4, the jungle could show up, or level 3 and you could get dove and then the game would be over. A similar thing was about to happen to Kikis, but then Trick had a level advantage over on Jankos because Jankos revealed himself back at the start of the game. It's all like related. It's a trickle down, a ripple effect. And Kikis managed to survive that dive moment, and now he's pulling ahead with the jungle pressure from Trick.
And clawing back that goal difference. This will be the first tower in a few shots. Nobody's yet to interrupt. So G2 still staying within touching distance. All of H2K's vision is in this bottom quadrant of the map. Trick, Emperor, Hybrid, they're looking for Vander, and Vander just pieces them out with his steadfast presence. Had to have expected that one coming.
Yeah, what they have to be afraid of though is when they keep committing so hard to the defense of the bot lane tier 1, there is actually a rotation possible for mid lane tier 2, where they group up with Selfie, the zone from Lee Sin will make, and all they need to do is kill one barrel.
All mid, yeah, you can see the pressure as Jankos is helping Selfie out.
Yeah, so Trick realizes that, he goes for Perkz there, so Trick doing a good job shadowing the lane that needs defense. while still maintaining even CS here with Jankos, but you can definitely feel the pressure that G2 is under. One mistake and it all comes falling down like a house of cards.
G2 want to try to do that to H2K. A teleport, unstoppable force. When you look at that team comp from H2K, there is no real front line. Warrior, Lee Sin, and a support Poppy. So let's see if G2 can find opportunities. Trick going to help out Kikis in the top lane. The threat of a tower push means his attention went from mid to top, and he cleared up the jungle along the way.
Yeah, the problem right now, this matchup has shifted. Iceborne Gauntlet has finished, so Emperor will no longer get chain poked by Forgiven anymore. He's kind of stuck in a bit of an annoying part of the matchup where he rushes the eye edge. Some people are forward. Freaks vehemently against it. So right now, this matchup kind of swings back to the Ezreal in terms of push. You won't get pressured either side on the turret, so maybe we can actually see the supports roaming soon. Or at least Selfie has to make a move here.
What's the next decision then for G2?
Package dive bot.
All
Or
right.
H2K at least. G2
Okay.
defend it.
Teleport plus Cannon Barrage, hope you can counter. That's what they're going to be looking for.
Selfie realizes it. Yeah. They don't know where Braum is, they don't know where Trick is, but look at the vision in the river. By power of deduction, they kind of know that they have to be in the brush.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they would have revealed anywhere where they could pose a threat. I mean, Selfie can push in uncontested mid again, and potentially he can roam down then.
Huge difference, by the way. Selfie level 12 to Perkz' level 11. Around 30 CS the difference, roughly. Selfie's doing very well in that matchup. And he's punished Perkz, but has it been enough? We'll have to see as this game progresses. There's some support down in the bottom lane. Both junglers have grouped up.
I wonder if Selfie's holding back a little bit though. I think he could punish Perkz a lot more, go for more shots, but he's playing on the edge of caution.
Kikis, the Valkyrie's been used. They engage, the flash away. Selfie stays alive. Has managed to get a fast bomb onto both Kikis and Perkz. And 1v2, it's the unstoppable and Cannon Barrage and
Is it
gets
a
away with
bird?
life.
It's actually not a bird. He's not in bird form. Okay.
Flash for flash. Jankos gets Kikis is out. But Krepo, that's huge. No Cannon Barrage, no unstoppable force, and no flash.
It's almost disrespectful from Kikis though to go for that max range ultimate. You have to respect players in LCS to be able to flash dodge reactively on a Malphite ulti on max range on 8 ping. It's nice, you know, oh, he flashed it, we got flash for it, but I feel like it's a waste because it just costs you so much tempo. Right now, because Odoamne, for the next like 30 seconds, could play super aggressively on top lane. He could have pushed in too. He didn't need to teleport there. Probably could have taken a tower, so...
Look at that, no threat Cannon Barrage, no threat TP. And H2K just knock over their second tower of the game. Only Kikis is remaining. And H2K still in control, still really dictating the tempo. I mean, they're deciding when and where some of these engages happen. But G2, despite losing lanes, do you feel 2K is alright at this stage in the game? Is it close to being problematic?
Now, the only thing I'm thinking of is how I can weave an H2K reference in there, but I can't. No, I think
while doing it
yeah,
seamlessly.
Yeah, I think it's okay. It just depends again how they can sync up with the Kiki's unstoppable force. That's what they have to use. Can they punish the fact that they traded it for Selfie's flash there in the mid lane somewhere? Because as these lanes get longer and you want to go for tier 2s, you leave up a lot of flank opportunity, especially getting hunt down by Cannon Barrage and like a high movement speed jungler like Trick getting in the sides, just poking away. It's a risky game H2K are playing because if they have to group siege somewhere to close out this game, they will need a Baron. Otherwise, it's going to be really rough. And G2 have answers to that. I think they've survived the rough part of the game already, and actually quite impressively so, because many other teams with similar lineups would have lost their towers sooner, especially in the bottom lane. I can't stress this enough. Emperor and Hybrid, with the way this game kind of started, phenomenal job overall.
We'll see if it works out for them because they've bought enough time for Perkz to get that Trinity Forces, getting closer and closer to the eye edge. Muramana being stacked up here for Emperor. Iceborne Rage. So those power spikes are growing. And the predominantly physical damage from H2K will be relatively easy to itemize against. So the longer this goes...
Oh yeah, this is a Malphite's dream, you know?
Yes.
He can eventually late game get a Thornmail and just be nigh unkillable.
Then how did they kill H2K? That's what G2 have got to figure out. And it starts with Kikis actually hitting those ultimates. Sounds so easy, but significantly harder.
He has to come from a flank. The reason a Malphite needs to come from a flank is not because it's easier to hit the ulti or anything, it's so he can actually walk into melee range of the people and just slow them down. And then when they use their gap closer or their flash, then you ulti after them. Any good player, you can expect to at least flash dodge and ultimate. That's why if you come from the front, it is so easy to just flash out and disengage and then turn around with a whole heap of damage. So really want people to come from the side, slow down the escape path with a cannon barrage. Exactly the thing that punished G2 yesterday when they were trying to hard engage. They got slowed down by these cannon barrages and eventually found themselves into very awkward positions. Let's see if they learned from their mistake yesterday and can apply it to this game.
So far playing patient and controlled. Trick's still doing his usual thing, at least in the early stages, in terms of counter jungling. And for G2, they've transitioned away from yellow trinkets. 3 of those scrying orbs.
Yeah, really good Baron checks. That's all you need to do, because when a poke comp with no real tank tries to attempt Baron and you sniff them out and you can stop them, they likely are so chunked that they can't attempt it straight after it again and you just buy some time.
There's Perkz in trouble. Cannon barrage going down. Teleport from Kikis as well. Flash away from the blinding assault, but it's still connected. Kikis will jump onto Odoamne. I don't think he can run away. Throw the cheese wheel. It's not going to connect. The true shot barrage misses too. Kikis has been slowed. Hybrid has flashed over the wall. Winter's Bite connects. Glacial Fissure will slow down H2K, and everybody's invited to the party. Now Hybrid's working away. All of the ultimates have already been channeled, but Kikis is on the front line. Arcane shift over for Emperor with the red buff. He's looking for more. That's G2 securing themselves 2 kills for only Trick's life.
Yeah, where was Selfie in this fight overall? He is stuck in the mid lane right now. Really good flash there from Hybrid. Not trying to go for the Q over the wall. Just flash, apply passive in case they have a flash or a heal up that you didn't account for. Slows down the member that they wanted to kill. And Kikis just completely tanks and soaks up so much damage. But Selfie wasn't really around. Let's watch that again. So the fight breaks out here in the bottom lane. Odoamne goes for the jump on Perkz. He flashes out, gets blinded. That's why he doesn't turn out immediately later on when the teleport walks in. Selfie, when that teleport goes on your screen, he should path straight to mid right now. He should look to join this fight, because you know the guy just teleported, likely from top lane. That wave will push out.
Still going top, Crepper.
And then that means that HK have to disengage here as soon as they can, but they get kind of stuck in the fight. The Hybrid, good flash. With ulti, secure the kill. Heal Forgiven. Look at Forgiven. He's hitting either Braum in this fight or the Malphite later on, so very hard fight for him to play.
G2 showing again that their team fighting is very impressive. And
I mean, it does help when Corki mid is not.
yeah, I mean 5v4, of course, but no hesitation.
Is that
His
what-
teleport works.
Is that where we start ranking the teams on? Yeah, I think G2 is the best 5v4 team fighting team.
No, I wasn't implying that, and
No.
you know it.
But yeah, they
bugger.
do know how to approach their team fights, mostly because they're so good at knowing their limits, playing around appealing support like Braum. Braum takes a lot of synergy with the team, and it requires the team to play out differently. Same with an Alistar. You need to respect things that he can bring to the table, and Hybrid is such a fantastic Braum player overall in terms of how much damage he can soak and how he applies his stacks just for teammates to finish off later on.
Earlier this game, you'd mentioned how G2 have to make those cannon barrages, have to make those TP Malphites work. 2-0-2 for Kikis, Iceborne, Sunfire, Infinity Edge Triforce for Perkz. I mean, Emperor's getting very, very close to that Mirror Mana.
And
7-2.
Forgiven skilled his first point in traps.
24 minutes in. Well, let's see how he uses them, if at all.
Probably not.
Yeah. Traps imply you're running backwards or something.
Yeah.
Not really Forgiven's playstyle. And Emperor's caught up all that farm. You know, he was down 20 CS at one point. Well, let's see what they can do. Selfie's got the package. We'll be able to transfer between lanes, and teleport's not available for Kikis yet. Perkz is being doped. Sonic Wave will find its target. Perkz gets booted backwards, but he manages to stay alive. The potion keeps him up, and Odoamne goes in retreat, but that was way too close for comfort.
Yeah, that's a really big mistake, leaving him alive right there.
Literally 8 in orange, and he was K, but that means Odoamne can hammer away on this tower. May even be able to get it if Jankos comes up here as well.
He will definitely get this tower. Can he escape? Trick Spear.
Short
Can.
answer, yes.
I love it.
I was looking,
Question, answer.
yeah, I was looking, I was like, where's the spear, where's the spear? Managed to get away. So tower number 4 has fallen.
Alright, side lane push from Kikis. Clears a ward. Has some time to move in and see if he can just zone with his ultimate. His core build is finished. Right now he should be stacking armor. I'm not quite sure. Is he going for... Is that Spirit Visage right now? Like,
Hope not.
Alright. This is where I start doubting myself. That has to be... You heard a keyboard typing, that's if you look up the build taps. I always get really wary. Yeah,
Find out. It is. I mean, Kindle Gem.
it has to be.
You're wrong. I
Why?
guess Corki deals magic damage.
He's going for the anti-Corki poke, but I don't think that's really important here. He could just get a Randuin's, Frozen Heart, a Thornmail, all of which would be really good in this team composition.
I'm just happy that he's got Ninja Tab item. We'll talk about the itemization, how effective it is. Odoamne is down bottom with teleport available. Selfie's shoving in the mid lane, so 3 members of H2K close enough to deal. Baron's down to 50% hit points, and H2K have gotten close.
Oh, Kikis is knocked out.
Already knocked Kikis away. Perkz has been chunked. He's down. Selfie got the kill. Now Emperor's falling short. That's a double kill for Selfie. Baron's down to 3,000 hit points. Trick is coming around in the side lanes. 3 members of G2 retreating. Kikis is caught Forgiven. Baron is helping out, but it won't be enough to kill him. A bounce forward from Trick and Kikis. They've managed to get the kills. A magnificent heal from Trick keeps him alive, but Selfie's with his 3rd kill of the fight. And all of a sudden, the Baron stops.
And Vander, absolute MVP of this fight. He knocks out Kikis, removes the hard engagement, and then knocks somebody into the wall for the kill. Trick is caught behind enemy lines. He drops, but if it weren't for that unstoppable force, combination with Baron, tag team on Forgiven, that would have been the throw of the game. Still a little bit salvaged, but G2 completely over-eager and just did not respect to keep his verdict.
Not at all. So H2K, they managed to come away with more kills. They also secure a tower. Today's broadcast brought to you by Track True Shot Barrage across the map. I think they're just showing off the observers, really. So well played by H2K. I'm quite surprised by how quickly they could respond. But
Just keep your eyes on Vander right here. Once they know that the Baron's up, it's like Kikis, knock knock. You're not there. And he's gonna flash here. Dash in, or rather on Emperor. Steadfast presence. Emperor goes low in the back. Oh, what a fight. Selfie cleaning up too. Odoamne kind of stuck with Selfie. Bit of a pathing mistake here. Actually, no, he passed through the top side, which is fine. Kikis is with a really smart re-engage to aim for Forgiven there.
yeah, it didn't have flash available either, so
That's crucial.
even if you wanted to,
If Forgiven lives there, that Baron drops and the game is likely
done so.
over. Favorited towards H2K, but yeah, I'll accept the Dunzo.
I prefer my word. Well, G2 will at least get an outer turret, so all 3 of them now down. Still 2,000 gold difference, but at the cost of some hit points maybe on this inhibitor turret. Odo on their left, untouched. Rapid fire cannon, Ghost Blade, more Malmortius. 3 rapid fires, so there's a lot of long range autos that can come down. What does that gold graph tell you, Trembo?
G2 made an oopsie. Pretty much it. It's a bold move going for the Baron, but I think they just knew that if H2K want to stop it, they have to funnel in. And funneling in versus a Braum and a Malphite is generally not a good idea. So we can't stress enough how crucial for that fight Vander's ultimate was. And the fact that Perkz kind of got sniped out by Selfie. Really 2 game-changing instances of play right there.
It'll be very interesting to watch the Vander Kikis interactions. Keeper's Verdict versus Unstoppable. Who's going to have the bigger impact? Kick, Trick, showing off maybe.
Yeah, he can actually leapfrog over it into the fight, because obviously you become untargetable while you're using the Malphite ultimate.
We'll see whose reaction time's quicker. Forgiven's grabbed himself the Phantom Dancer as a 3rd item on that Kaita. Not something you see super frequently.
I mean, Kikis, he's playing frontline Malphite. He went for the Spirit Visage to counteract some of the poke that he can soak so he can get healed up. He goes for a...
Oh, wow, look at that barrel. Perkz gets a lot of damage.
But wrong order. They Cannon Barrage first, and they Cannon Barrage second after the Malphite ultimate, and that's the wrong way to play this. Kikis gets knocked out. Because look at Odoamne in the top lane. G2 had to make that play because they wanted to force something on this wave. But instead of using Gangplank ulti first to slow people, and then just get the zone to make them back off and respect the Malphite ultimate, they just went for the YOLO Malphite ultimate. He got Valkyried, out of all things, by Selfie. Oh, it's a really big screw up there from G2.
They lose their inner turret in the top lane. Odoamne playing his game perfectly. Leave me alone in the side lanes. You guys deal with the opponents.
I mean, we have to wonder, if Kikis went for raw armor here, he could easily hold Odoamne in the top lane though, and teleport into the fights.
He's got himself another chain vest, so maybe that Thornmail's on the way. Odoamne jumps forward into Trick, doesn't find the blinding assault. And H2K, they've started the Baron. It's only a few seconds before Kikis' unstoppable force is up, but that Baron will be down before it's done. 2,000 hit points, it's dropping. The barrels come out. It's stolen with a mystic shot. Emperor might have saved the day. The team fight ensues and Selfie's forced away. Perkz is jumping forward. The exhaust won't be enough to stop him. The oranges are eaten and they're okay. Vander gets eaten by a Winter's Bite. Hybrid snipes him from the back line. Odoamne is killed as Kikis runs him down. And now Forgiven and Jankos, they're running for their lives. A flash sideways from Forgiven. He's trying to get at least one kill, but the heal from Trick will keep him alive. And Jankos is killed. H2K are aced.
Forgiven flashes in aggressively, turns on Trick, but Hybrid jumps in to save the day. Trick turns around, Jankos can't finish him off, and look at the Baron power play, 4,000 already.
How much more can they take? There's 30-second death timers and 4 members of G2 alive. Perkz and Kikis hammering down on the towers. Trick's gonna be able to take the inhibitor at least. Do they go all in or do they back away? G2, they are continuing the push, Krepo, looking at the Nexus turrets, and I think they're gonna start it.
Vander's alive, Selfie's up in 6 seconds, 1 tower going down. Keeper's verdict, zoning.
It will stop them for now, and Nexus turret is down. 6,500 gold in the first minute of Baron.
And more importantly, they probably tilted the hell out of H2K with that play. Holy steel, let's watch that again. We need slow-mo for this. Emperor. Yeah, okay, that can never happen. Hybrid knocks up, nobody in that fight, and he goes in. Keep your eyes on Kikis here. How low Trick is. Trick ends this fight on the same amount of HP, so he stays alive. Vander gets sniped by Kikis. Kikis is ultimating the support, who then gets sniped by... What the hell is this fight? What's going on? But somehow, they can't get through to the Kikis' armor, and now...
Am I allowed to say G2 are good at team fighting now?
Like, is it?
I don't know.
Is it really though? If you ultimate the support when his spells are in cooldown as Kikis, I think they're really good at stealing Baron, but
G2.
we need Jat. Jat needs to team fight breakdown.
Yep, we'll have to request that. And also, because it is Jungle Week here in EU, I can't wait to hear what Shook and Amazing have to say about Baron being stolen with a Mystic shot.
I think it'll start with a C. It may end on a loud fiesta, but...
Well, let's see what happens. Perkz has been found by Jankos. Continues to go down. Does get the cannon barrage out before being killed himself. Odoamne's on the backline. Emperor survives with double-digit HP. Does manage to back away. Odoamne saved by the fist and the HP. The unbreakable shield from Hybrid will stop for a few seconds before Forgiven is stunned in his tracks. 3 for 3, and Vander's running for his life.
The fight started fantastically for H2K overall, but eventually they can't get through to the backline because they have to walk through a Malphite with so much armor. They have to walk through Hybrid here, who just continuously applies 1 stack, moves to the next target. Now they jump on Odoamne. Frozen Fist versus Braum, it's so hard to get away from that.
You can't get away from it, and this is why you don't give Hybrid Braum. He has been massively impactful, 2-0-11 in this game.
This is G2's bread and butter. Triple damage, tank on Kikis, and Braum on Hybrid. Just the amount of CC that they can enable. Let's watch this again. How does this start? We see Jankos flanking and kick on Perkz. Really beautiful opening though from Jankos. Odoamne comes in. This fight is 4v5 by the time Kikis lands. Odoamne drops low. They kind of forget to clean him up. Hybrid, look at the Q right here, top of your screen. Oh, no, doesn't go down. Trick Zonias here at the very end, and Hybrid's peeling. Right before Emperor drops, he Qs Forgiven 1 for another stack. He just gets 2 shot. He can only trade his life. He traded 100% Forgiven for 50% Emperor. Still worth trading in G2's books.
They end up getting themselves the 7th tower of the game. The Thornmail's completed in conjunction with an Abyssal Scepter. I think we can debate this one at a later date.
No, it makes sense because Thornmail is magic damage that you return. It is calculated before you get the armor reduction in. And with the Abyssal, he lowers just the magic resistance that H2K have stacked, and they probably aren't building too much magic resistance overall because they have to be careful for Perkz and Emperor, so he's actually getting a lot of value from that Sunfire damage from the Thornmail. Just still not quite sure what the hell Spirit Visage is doing in that build. If it was Frozen Heart, maybe better.
Professional opinion, did H2K do an oopsie?
H2K, in fact, made a big oopsie here.
1 Mystic shot starts that entire tumble down, and G2 are 6,000 gold in the lead.
Yeah. The strength of this late game, though, with this Malphite being used in team fights, the way you generally expose Malphites in the late game is by getting split push pressure on them, forcing them into the base and making their engages very telegraphed. But when G2 group right now, the zone from the barrels, the cannon barrage coming down, potentially slowing them down, and more importantly, the damage denial that Hybrid can put up. He can redirect incoming damage so that G2's carries are not under siege ever. And that is the biggest thing here for G2 Esports.
Cripper, help my memory. Didn't H2K have difficulties around Baron yesterday with UOL as well?
Very long game.
And it seems like they're not making the best timing on those calls. We'll expand on that thought in a second. Selfie's in base. He's picked up the package in a turret number 8. While the top lane, it is the 8th tower, has now fallen. And you can see Odoamne with teleport available in the mid lane.
The Hybrid redirected that Pulse Bomb to keep the minions alive a tiny bit longer.
Wow, big hit there. Onto Forgiven, zones him away. Vander does not fire the Verdict, so it's down to a quarter of the cooldown, still available.
Zoning barrels come in, the wave is gone. Hybrid trying his best to soak up the wave clear before it hits the wave, so at least we drop the resistances. Not we, they. Because we're impartial here. The analyst desk, caster desk.
On the bottom lane, Crepo, H2K have got a gigantic set of minions pushing towards G2, and Jankos is doing the best he can to zone. As long as he's got someone's attention,
He's gonna go in. Odoamne is in the top right now. They're looking for the pinball kick. They want to use the fact that your kick gets bonus damage if you're kicking Kikis, who's a tank, on the backline, and then Odoamne can flank, but they're so afraid to pull the trigger because Forgiven was in base because he got poked down. It's a dance right here.
Jankos needs to play more bowling, look for the strike. Use Kikis as the front runner. There's those Caitlyn traps. Finally, Forgiven is using them appropriately. 4 of them stacked up, but Kikis has got a lot of armor, a lot of hit points. He's actually backed away ever so slightly. Odo and Jankos still playing the threat game.
H2K holds because look at the bottom lane. Massive wave has been building up every single wave, and because H2K can clear waves in front of that tower, especially due to the zone from the Caitlyn traps, they eventually force back G2. Now they can move back. There's no vision anywhere on the map because they spent so much time sieging here in the top lane. Vision denial, incredibly important. That's a big crit. TP mid lane from Kikis. They just want to go siege again. No time being wasted here. Top lane is still pushing. Why did he TP?
Is the question. We'll find out. Baron has spawned. G2 had the timer.
Skull Crab though.
And under full vision, so H2K will be aware of this if it gets started. Perch will also be late. He's coming in from behind the red buff, and the setup is here. Look for Vander's Keeper's Verdict. Who will it find? Cannon Barrage has been used already. Perch out. Still alone on the side. They've pieced out from the Baron. Vander's playing defensive on the back line. The Unstoppable Force has been fired. Trick is still alive, but he's managed to get the first kill onto Jankos. Hybrid's running away with his life, and Vander's trying to shut him down. Emperor gets an easy kill onto Odoamne, and G2 set their sights on the inhib.
Just the amount of pressure that Hybrid can put in these team fights and somehow still manages to survive is utterly impressive overall. Walks forward, so much damage. It's 5v3 right now. This should spell the end of the game.
Well, G2 certainly want to. 42 seconds before Odo's back up. There's only one Nexus turret standing. Self and Forgiven have been chunked out. The exhaust has been used. Hybrid, I think, flashed for that Winter's Bite. He didn't find it. Forgiven used the flash defensively. Emperor catches him with the Arcane Shift. The tower will fall shortly. G2 on the brink of knocking down H2K. They've got the kill onto Vander. Only Selfie remains, the substitute H2K player. And G2 get revenge on H2K. Ecstatic players on stage. Young Buck and G2.
And this is one of those drafts where if G2 didn't get the early game going as well as they did, it could have been a real ugly game. Because all it took was one simple slip up, one good force from H2K, and all those tier 1 towers would start crumbling down, and suddenly that style that G2 like to play would have never been even put in effect. Odoamne would have a lead on Kikis, push him in, Selfie and Forgiven could group up and siege, but G2, they were resilient in the early game. They used the Malphite ulti, and eventually late game, obviously, triple AD carry, Malphite Braum. That's not gonna happen.
It makes things so interesting now at the top of the table because G2 scratch one back. They lost the last time they played H2K. I heard Jankos talking a little bit about it yesterday, saying it's going to be a tough game, and it turned out to be. And well played to G2 for the early game, surviving with their comp. Now, what could have been if that Baron wasn't stolen?
Yeah, obviously, that's something I did forget to mention right there too. The Baron steal was, yeah, I mean, the game changer.
Yep.
Come on.
Mystic
Really?
shots.
Is this
Mystic
true?
shots.
I mean, Unicorns Fnatic just finished. Can you, like, maybe there, but like in this game, teams that are so calculated, that steal, that's going to haunt H2K. Obviously, easily identifiable mistake, but I think
doesn't make it
G2
easier
were
to
still
swallow.
playing with fire though. I mean, the finale was nice and, you know, blowing up H2K, and they couldn't do anything forgiven, couldn't touch anybody in the late game fights against an Armor, Malphite, and a Braum. But I just want to go back to the early game, and I still think H2K had the superior draft. And yeah,
Well, let's talk about
even
Kikis.
the level 1, just overall, so many questions.
I want to talk about Kikis, but it'll have to wait for another day. For now, we're going to head on stage where Pyrotechnics is going to chat to one of the guys from G2.
Thanks very much, Quickshot. I'm joined by the rock-solid top laner. It is Kikis. And first of all, you know what? Forget this. That game was absolutely insane. Tell me about what happened with the mindset, with the comms, when that Baron steal went down.
I mean, actually, like when usually our comms are kinda like calm-ish, like everyone was just screaming, everyone's like, Emperor is a god, thank you Emperor, and whatever, but that still was really important, so yeah.
You really were able to make a massive gold swing right around in your favor. And just looking at it now, you've gotten revenge on H2K, you're tied at the top of the standings. What's next for this team? How far do you expect to go in the playoffs?
I mean, I hope next is gonna be Rotterdam and then MSI. But yeah, that's our main goal, and we're gonna try our hardest, you know. But I think like this game we were still shaky and it wasn't clean. Like we still have a lot of work to do. But I think we are on the right track, and we can like try to become the best.
Well, you definitely made a strong statement for that today. Thank you again, Kikis, and congratulations on your win over H2K. For now, though, we're going to send it back over to the analyst desk to break down one hell of a roller coaster.
Thank you so much, Pyra. Interesting and a roller coaster. Let's start by talking about the picks and bans. You guys had a lot to say about it. It became more and more clear that the Malphite was the key to everything. What else did you think about the draft?
I mean, I really like the Corki first pick because he's got a big package, and so do I. But really, like the hero of the champ select was the Malphite pick into the 3 ADCs, and I think that's like already a game-winning pick right there. And even though like the Baron mispositioned by G2 mispositioning and giving H2K the chance to go Baron, and Ezreal of course stealing it, but I'm still not really convinced if H2K would have won the game even if they get the Baron. Probably yes, but even then, like the Malphite was just an unstoppable force.
We'll take a look at the Baron later. Anything else about the pick and ban phase for you guys?
I disagree with the Quinn blind pick to a certain extent, because they should have known that there was the opportunity that Gangplank would be a flex pick and not something that would 100% go top, because if you put Quinn into Gangplank, it's actually a really good matchup because you're able to actually abuse it and at some point split push, so Gangplank has to group and they have to force stuff. But versus Malphite, it's not that way. It's still like kind of, you still have to kind of pressure, especially down mid lane and like at some point hard engage, but Malphite is able to hold his own against Quinn, especially in a comp where AD seems to be so heavily favored. So they should have been more aware of the last pick coming in.
I want to take a look at two phases. We'll look at the Baron later. First, I want to look at the early game because we were looking at Jankos and Trick a lot. And Shook, you said, yeah, you think Trick is one of the best junglers. Let's take a look at a couple of those early skirmishes and how they played out. Talk us through them, Shook.
Yeah, they're just constantly fighting each other, fighting. At one point, the Trick actually goes over-aggressive, like Selfie can get in
right
here.
here.
Like Selfie, like he can get in here before GP because he has Valkyrie and Flash, and he managed to get a good exhaust off on Trick that prevents Trick from killing Jankos, and just barely gets away. And yeah, they just get an advantage from this, and Selfie is gonna do super well in mid lane.
He is here. Trick dies, but he immediately goes back top, and he's relentless. Did that help set up G2's victory?
Yeah, I think so. Like Trick still did fine. He kept on the aggression, like he kept going for aggressive plays and kills, and yeah, he did what he could do.
Yeah, definitely both of the junglers having something to prove in this matchup, of course. Like a lot of hype going into this game and so much aggressive counter jungling, and a really fun game to watch. But like Trick really also recognizing like the weakness of the enemy top lane, like really easy dives with the Malphite, and he knew as well if the Malphite gets ahead, it's going to be an easy game.
You talk about the hype matchup between the junglers. Poor Jankos. Let's take a look at a couple of Barons. The Smite is coming as the second one. Let's look at the first one first, because it was also quite interesting how both teams... Talk us through it, because I don't feel like they don't really know what they're doing.
I feel like in both cases, like especially in this case, you see that it's just an uncontrolled Baron start. They have no plan whatsoever. They probably saw Corki bottom side, so they kind of knew that they had some time to play with. But the Nash start itself, especially against high mobility comps, is really risky. And it can easily force you to fall far behind.
Oh,
And if the Nash is stolen, like in this case, where his smite didn't go off, it's extremely hard to basically come back from that. Even if it's just like a goal deficit that you fall into, it's more about the momentum that's coming in. Because if you face Smite and Nash, you're gonna have doubts about yourself. You're gonna play differently, and this probably helped Gamers 2 closing out the game faster than they should have.
Yeah, and I mean, the chances of doing by the Ezreal is just unbelievable. I can't even. We're actually going to talk to Jankos a bit later and see what he thinks of that. But in the end, was there any point that H2K could have come back? They are a top team, so do you think that they should have mentally been able to pop back?
I think they should have never fallen behind in the first place. I think that's the issue with the comp. Because there are multiple situations where they could have pulled ahead. If we think about the bottom dive, when Lee Sin kicked someone into safety, basically survived on HP, which would have had been a bigger lead for them. And then the Drake fight, which they quite frankly just lost really badly because Corki wasn't there and he was pathing topside. So I just say the comp forced them to play proactive. They did play proactive, but they didn't execute properly. If they did so, they would have had a big lead coming in especially into the Nash. There would have not been a 5-5 situation, but most likely something where they have deep vision coming in and actually can prepare the Nash instead of just starting it in an equal fight.
Yeah, actually, I feel like it was kind of impressive. H2K managed to make the game as close as it was without snowballing with the setup, because it's just so hard to execute the comp versus the G2 comp, because like you actually have to put the Quinn, like always against Gangplank. You can't even put the Quinn against Malphite because you're just going to get stomped, and then you have to put the Corki against the Malphite, and just like a lot of rotating, and you can never group. It's just very, very tough position to be in.
And they had a Caitlyn, so
yes,
in your mind, that wouldn't have
useless
done.
as Nipples.
Yeah. And Shook, I mean, you were the only one that had the prediction correct. Is G2 the best team in Europe for you?
I think it's Vitality.
You think it's Vitality. All right, cool. It's time for a quick break as we set up for our next matchup on the slate between Elements and Roccat. Our coverage of the European LCS will be right back.
This should be like our most confident game. We've never studied a team this much so far.
But you guys are good players. You should always try to play your game, not everyone else's.
Yeah.
What's what makes the difference between a great player and just a good player?
Flash has been burned, Trick dash at the pound! Oh! Wow! Oda that bounces backwards, but Trick will get out alive.
I'll go.
Can you maybe run?
I go.
Passive. Fight. Nice. Go.
Push mid. Go.
GB.
Kill us. I'm running.
S is low.
S is dead. Dash.
I go Nidalee. Go Queen. Go Queen.
The exhaust won't be enough to stop him. The oranges are eaten and they're okay. Vander gets eaten by a Winter's Bite. Hybrid snipes him from the back line. And G2 get revenge on H2K.